Good morning, it's Lo, and this week I want to introduce something new. See, I've been studying a lot, and that's why I haven't been posting any videos. I just got really deep into a bunch of things, and I'm excited to share it with you, and they're on their way. It's just I try to figure out a way to introduce things. Um, so for today, I'm going to do a new series, and I'm going to call this Augmentatio Septimana. See, the word augmentatio comes from Latin, and it means to increase. Tatio. It means to increase. Augmentation is to increase. So augmentatio just means to increase. Septimana comes from mana, comes from Latin as well, and it means seven flows. Mana is flow, and Greek it refer or Latin. It refers to like energy or anything like that, anything that flows. So mana, you might have heard it in like Moana. I think they talked about it. It's a Polynesian term as well, which is interesting as well. But we'll get into that. So seven flows. So that's the 7 days of the week that are flowing together to the end of the week or to or new beginning. So this series will be about the weekly increase, things that you could do to increase week to week. And I thought of this idea because I just finished one of my journals, and it took me a while because I kept losing it and writing in other journals. I like to journal, and then I was reading through the journal, and I came to this section, and it really made me think. So, what I wanted to do was just to give a little challenge week to week and see if maybe it could help. For me, this has been pivotal, because it has helped me to fortify my mind, give myself challenges and things to aspire to, and give myself a goal. So I just try to work in ways like this. Like I'll think of something and I'll just try to aim towards it. So today is Friday, and what I want to do is just break down what Friday comes from. Friday is a word, right? We know Friday, but what is Friday? Why Friday? So Friday comes from Freya. Freya was a goddess in Norse mythology, and she represented fertility, love, beauty, gold, and I believe the ability to influence the future. So this is where it gets interesting, because influence comes from flow. Fluent or fluidity is flow. Mana is something that flows. So Friday is a day where you can create a new flow. So I wanted to create new flows every Friday. That way we could grow week to week together. We could actionably take steps to work towards something better. So this week I wanted to just break down that Friday is from Freya. And I know that sounds strange because it's like, why does that even matter? Well, it matters because we use words and we don't really understand the origin of them. And all of this comes from my curiosity for words. So this week's challenge, and I'm going to keep this short and sweet. This week's challenge is just to be curious. Curious. So curious. That is just the questioning mindset or the inquisitive mindset, going out and just inspecting things closely, being able to observe and perceive things differently. Just to get down on the ground and maybe look at the life cycle of a ladybug, or watch the ants moving across the mountain, or even looking into the horizon and seeing how nature breathes and moves. Things like that can make you really curious if you give yourself the time. Because curiosity is a foundation. It is a foundation of all improvement. All things that we want to do start with curiosity. Because first you get interested, then you get actionable, and then you get the result, and then you either continue with the action or you branch off into a different path. I think that is the flow of learning. The flow of learning starts like that. Well, that I think there's a simple breakdown. I probably missed something. But as far as that goes, curiosity is the key. Curiosity brings you to places you might have never thought of if you weren't getting down rabbit holes. With the internet, we can go really deep. So you could go and find out what the life cycle of a ladybug is and realize how similar that is to the life cycle of a butterfly. And then you go, okay, now these two things are related, but this is strange that they both have similar life cycles, but we only hear about the butterfly. I know that's a rudimentary example. It's just something that I recently was curious about. And like I said, curiosity is key. So if you get curious about things, and that could be anything, it could be about yourself, it could be about another person. Have you ever had that feeling like I should talk to them? But you get a little nervous. You start thinking to yourself, maybe they won't like me. What do I say? What do I do? Maybe just approaching the person because they intrigued you and complimenting them is a form of curiosity in itself. Like, hey, I like your shirt. Where'd you get it? Or, hey, I like that anime too. Or, something like that. So I think being curious is a key to everything. And that includes learning, that includes relationships, that includes growth, that includes failure. Like all this stuff is tied to curiosity because sometimes you'll get curious and you'll try something, it doesn't work, and you go, okay, why did? And then you get curious about why your curiosity didn't work or what you did wrong. So you can take curiosity multiple ways. It dives to the root. So for me, this has been foundational in everything I do. It pushes me beyond my comfort zone because I'm constantly chasing or pursuing curiosity. If something gets my interest, I kind of break it down in that way. Like how can, like, I don't know, if I talked to this guy named Tim. He's my neighbor, and I never talked to him, but the one day he was out across the street, and I just saw him, and I noticed he always has a cool garden, like really well managed and really big tomato plants. So I just go up to him, like, hey man, I know I never introduced myself. My name's Andrew. He's like, oh, I'm Tim. And I just go, hey, how did you get your tomatoes to grow so well? And he goes, oh, well, I just go over to the dump. I grab some compost. I put it all together. He's like, I also use fish bones. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then his stuff grows really well. And all that took was a little curiosity, a little bit of getting out of my comfort zone and approaching my neighbor. And I think this is the key. Like, if you let your curiosity drive you, it will be a force that brings you out of your comfort zone. And that relates to all things. And that's health, fitness, relationships, learning, social. It's like it's a foundation because even people you think you know, if you get really curious about them, you might find out something new that you never knew because it's hard to know the complete person. Each time we meet somebody, we have this preconceived notion of who they are because of who they were. But I think if we approach each other with a grain of curiosity and try to get to know, then we can come to a different understanding. So curiosity is this week's challenge. So the challenge itself is this: get curious, get curious about something, learn something, then try to teach it to somebody new. So that whatever that means to you, it could be a random fact, it could be a I don't know, a little information. It could just be something about yourself that you want to share, and that's a curiosity as well. So what I want to do is just read what inspired this new series that I'm starting, and it is a journal entry from 2016, which is crazy to think that was 7 years ago. But listen, curiosity, what a foundation. The truth is, it is the only platform on which to stand and progress. How could we not use it? We are but creatures of curiosity, limited only by our own constraint. It is the doorway to speculation and imagination and action, and it's a beautiful place. It can also expose you to the ugly, but if you delve deep enough into the depths of reality, you will find the seed. And once again, balance is key. So you teeter upon the tip of reality and imagination. Allow yourself to be childlike, but do not consume the poison. The truly beautiful are wanderers of both worlds, dwellers of the earth and of their own and others' minds. This is the infection that you wish to catch. It is the ease. Become a teeterer. And I don't know why I was using teeterer so much. I guess I was using teeterer as a metaphor for standing on the tip of reality and imagination, where I feel that curiosity brings you, because you start thinking in new ways and trying to apply yourself in different ways and going deeper and deeper into different ways of thinking. And I think this is important. So like I said, this is the new format for Fridays. So every Friday, Augmentatio Septimana, which means to weekly increase. And that is a process that we can all get involved in. So, like I said, I'd love to hear your story. If you get curious about something, if there's something you want to share with me, like I said, we all have a unique perspective, and this perspective can bring something of greater value to each other. I heard this quote, or it wasn't a quote, but it was just a way of talking that I never really heard. This guy was saying, he's like, he said, everyone has a piece of bread to offer the world, but some people never want, some people don't know their bread is valuable. And just know that your bread is valuable. Whatever you got bacon in your mind, whatever you have that is a unique perspective, you can gift that to somebody else, and that can change their life. That can give somebody some fuel for their own adventure, their own curiosity, maybe incite something in them. So there's, like I said, my curiosity drives me beyond my discomfort, and maybe it can do the same for you. So this is Friday, Augmentatio Septimana. It sounds cool, doesn't it? And I'd like to thank you for taking the time to refine with me. Also, I want to say early happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Well, we have an important job as fathers. You know, we are raising kids who are curious themselves. They watch us. We should watch them. We should not just watch them like babysitting, like people say. Like, we should watch them. Watch what they do. They can teach us a lot about how to play, how to rest, how to act, how to move. They're very intuitive, and if we could get on some level with them, I'm not saying like just to become a baby, but like maybe move like them, watch them. I have a son; he's almost 2, and it's so inspiring to me. He teaches me a lot. So to all you fathers out there who are raising children, props to you. Happy Father's Day. We have an important job as fathers, and like I said, maybe if we bring some curiosity into that as well, we can learn from them as much as they'll learn from us, because the relationship is important. So, like, again, thank you, and until next time, make sure you refine. Peace.